Hi, welcome. So in this video, we are going to look at some intermediate to advanced things in SQL. So in this case, we are going to talk about CTE. So these are common table expressions. So you might have been wondering, with all the select stuff from the syntax that we've been seeing before, how do we get to write like hundreds and thousands of lines of code in SQL? Most of the time, there's lots of CTEs that are used to be able to chain the statements together alongside with some subqueries that you've seen already in the previous video. So you can always go back and check the subqueries. And then now we are going to look at CTEs. So let's just go straight to the computer and see what the CTE brings to the table. So here, let's just remind ourselves again our statements. We have our select, from, then you have join. At times it goes with on. Yeah, you always have the on, join on. Then you also have where, we've looked at that, group by, and then sometimes you might use having, order by, and then limit. So let's close this. So you'll be wondering, okay, if these are just these ones, how do we like have lots of code if we have lots of things to filter to do at the same time if the database is a bit complicated? So one good thing that is used is the CTE. So CTE, so common table expression, common table expression. So that's the CTE. So let me just go back, undo. So to write the CTE, you start with the width. So when you declare this width, it knows that you want to write CTE, and the CTE, most of the time you just use it to get an instant calculation, and then you get the results and you move on from there. So it might be complex for a beginner, you might not understand, but as I write an example, you're just going to see how to write a CTE and how it fits in. So let me just take an example. We have this our database here. So if I just right click here, we have the staff demographic and we have the staff salary. So you can always go back and take a look at this, the previous videos, how we were able to create these databases. And I can just use the staff demographic as an example here. So this staff demographic, we have the staff ID, the first name, the last name, age, and the gender. And then I just want to demo to you how we can use a CTE here to get some results. So let's go here. So let's just say we can with the CTE, you first say width, and then you call it any name that you want to name it. Let me just say we want to get the female staff here, female staff. I know we can do them in other ways, but we just want to use this to show you how the CTE works. So the next thing you have to do when you type the CTE like this, you have to say as. So this already tells SQL that you are about to create a CTE, which the name is staff, female staff, and it's like a table that you can call again under here and do other operations with it. So you can use combinations of union, even CTEs inside another CTE. There could be nested CTEs. So let me just go straight and then we see how complete the CTE. So the next thing now is to have your brackets here, for example. So when you have that now, you now have your select statement here. So if you have your CTE like that, you now have the select that you can use. So you can say select, just maintain select. Let's just take all the data, star, and then from staff demographic. So here is the staff demographic. Then we just say, okay, we want the condition where we just want the female, where gender equals to female. So here we have now to close the brackets here. So now when you create a CTE, you have to call it right away, because it's just a table that you need to use instantly to get your results. So you have to call it. So we can say, for example, select. Let's just take maybe first name. First name, for example, first name. Now last name. So you see the Mockbench or MySQL is not really able to read the contents of the CTE directly. So I mean, you have to. It's just also something that optimizes the memory when you use this. So let's just say select that. Then now we have, from now you call the table female staff, which is what we've created up there. So bring back that female staff now, and then you can even add. Let's just add an order by maybe age, for example. So now let's run all of this now. So when you run this, you see you get a new table, which is a combination of first of all, you did the first layer, you first put out all the female. So if you want, you can say gender. So notice that before we used to have proposals like gender for us in the other tables, but with the CTE, there are no proposals. So let's say we run this now. So we now have just the female. So remember, the staff demographic here had male, female. So we now have just the female, as well as we could say we just want maybe, let's say, male staff. Male, let's just call it a male staff CTE. So we've done like a multi-step kind of analysis. So we first took out the male, and then we did maybe the manipulation we wanted to do here. So we could still do even a group by age here to be able to get other information from the data. So we can say select just that, and then maybe run this one. So you see here we have the male now, and then we can do anything we want here. So it could have been that we decided just to do a group by with the average age here, and then we have a different table. But the fact was that we first filtered out the male, and then we are able to have a CTE, which is just males, and then we can now play with it here. So the CTE could be anything. It could have been some group by that you've done here already. Maybe you already group by gender here first. So it's just a reduced data of just male, female, and then maybe the average age. And then down here now you come and do another second manipulation, and then you return the value. So otherwise, in the initial table, you will not be able to just take out the male and then do another step again immediately, because if you see here, you have a from, and then you have again another from, and then you have your different, you've taken star here, and then here you've taken the different columns here. So what is also logical or interesting is that you can still wrap up this same CTE in another CTE. So let's just even take descending age first. So if you decide that the age should be descending, it would be descending in this order instead, for example. So let's just show you how powerful a CTE could be, and then the rest will be for your imagination. So you can have with any name, blah blah blah, any name, again as. Then now all of this now, which is supposed to yield this result, becomes a new table or a new CTE for you. So with that as that, Then now you can still come here and then you close this again, close this, then you call this CTE. So let's just say select star, or let's just say select H. Let's just take H, even just H. Just take H just to show you from. And remember how we called it here, AAA here. So I'll just, let me just maintain this here, from A, AAA. Yeah, there were triple A, 4 A's. A, let me just bring this down so that we can be able to see. Okay, bring it down slightly again so that we can be able to see the CTE. So the CTE, it starts, there is an initial CTE which says with male staff. As now it starts its own statement here, select from where that, and then the CTE is called here. So select this from the male staff CTE, order by whatever, and then it ends here. So this one ends here. So now you're calling this other CTE on top of it, and then when you run it now, you see, for example, you get maybe just the age or that, and then maybe you can decide to say, I just want maybe the first name. So let's put first name, comma, age. You run it. So you brought in now the first name and the age, just because this CTE, we didn't do anything apart from just calling it on top of another CTE, but we could still have come down here and done some other manipulations, like maybe group by, or having, or order by, or other limits, or different things here. We could have even limited them first here, done a first limit here, then from the limit now, before you move on to continue to do another manipulation on that data set. So you can be able to chain your actions. So it's like nested actions, chain your actions, and then at the end you get just the final result in one query like this. So this is the power of the CTE. So I hope you've been able to understand how to use the CTE, get this good introduction to it, and then the rest of it is just to practice and use your imagination to be able to chain your queries to one big script and get very interesting and exciting results. Wish you good data luck. See you next video.